And if we keep allowing ourselves to fall short on that Saturday and Sunday, it's really, really hard to build a morning routine that you can actually rely on. Morning routines are built in times of trial. Most of the time, we assume that we can just plan things out and stick to it. But what I've realized in my life is every 4 years, things change a lot, especially when you're going to graduate school from college, or if you're going into work life from school in general, your morning routine fundamentally has to change to tackle the needs of that circumstance. So when I'm thinking about my morning routine, I'm always thinking about what is the thing that I'm going to be doing consistently for the next 5 years, and ideally, what is the result that I will have on the daily when I go to bed in terms of how I feel about myself and in terms of how I feel about what I've executed that day. So the morning routine that I used to have in college was frankly non-existent. It was something like I would get up in the morning and figure out what class I had to go to. I'd go and take a shower, try to hang out. Sometimes I'd have breakfast, sometimes I wouldn't. I would have this crazy, chaotic life, and it just wasn't really conducive to anything building over time. But I was trying to figure out really who I was as a person. So having that building thing going on wasn't really a huge priority. When I got into graduate school, the morning routine turned into, hey, you better wake up an hour at least before school so you can get ready for all the things that you have to do. And if you have an exam that morning, it might be a couple hours less of sleep, but getting to the library at that right time to go and review all of those questions, that is what it is. Nowadays, well, that I'm a dentist, my morning routine is entirely determined by what I want to do in my life. So it tends to be wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, try my very hardest to get all dressed and everything taken care of by 6:45, and then from 6:45 to about 7:30, make sure that I am doing a little bit of catch up, making sure to go over the plan that I had for last night for the day to proceed, and just making sure that all the communications are being sent out. Again, not super streamlined, still working on that. And really, I want to have a workout session installed too. But the reality is, again, morning routines are ideal for establishing some sort of discipline. And what I've realized is the breaker of discipline tends to be the weekends. Grant Cardone is known for saying that weekends make you weak, man, because the reality is the weekend warrior mentality has been instilled in us from society, so much so that we forget that the weekends are just any given day. If you think about the progression of an entrepreneur's life, if you think about the progression of an artist's life, weekends are just another day. And if we keep allowing ourselves to fall short on that Saturday and Sunday, it's really, really hard to build a morning routine that you can actually rely on. Now, again, this is something that I'm working on too, but it's wise words from people that I take advice from and the ideal in my own head. Again, it's going to come down to realizing you don't have to have a perfect morning. You really, ideally, just need to figure out how to control your emotions in your circumstance and go and do the things that are required for you to do that day. Ty Lopez says that you should make a list of 3 things that are the super highest priority that day and try to get those things done. Ideally, you get the hardest things done right in the morning so that you don't have to worry about them over the course of the day. What that means is having that hard conversation with a staff member, having that hard conversation with a significant other, having that financial statement, whatever, done, taken care of, setting up whatever you need to do for that day so that your team or your employer or your family can do what they need to do. So that's my advice on morning routines. At the end of the day, you are going to go to sleep to some degree in a spiritual sense alone. You need to be aware of this and realize that what you do over the course of the day, if getting that workout in, if getting those 3 things done in are the things that are going to satisfy you in terms of your self-belief, then it is your responsibility to make sure that you set aside the time to do that. My requirement usually for myself is that I give myself about 2 hours before I need to be in the workplace, as I do have basically a 9 to 5, 6 days a week. And that means that I give myself that ample amount of time to check in, to strategize, and to knock out some of those things that I know I can get done in 10, 20 minutes that are going to be hanging over my head over the course of the day if I get extraordinarily busy or some random circumstance comes in. So in general, what I say to you is Figure out where you are in your life for the next 5 years. Figure out what the optimal morning routine is based on goals that you set for yourself. If you want to be more fit, you should probably get a workout in, some sort of cardio. If you want to be more intelligent, perhaps you should think about reading a book. If you want to get more spiritually involved and connect back with yourself, give yourself 20 minutes, half an hour of 15 minutes actually is the nice happy medium for that. But to meditate, to look at something beautiful, to go on a walk, get that vitamin D like Andrew Huberman says, and make sure that you're kitting yourself out for a nice day ahead. Most of the time also, bonus advice, you're not going to wake up and be super, super excited about what you need to do that day. If you're doing a regular routine, if you're really building your life, most of the time it's going to feel like you're doing the same day over and over again. And what that means is that you're not going to wake up with this incredible excitement for the day all the time, but we need to be in control of our emotions. High emotions equal low intelligence. So at the end of the day, I always say to my staff and my leaders, my friends, my colleagues that, hey, I don't care how you feel. If you said you're going to do something that day, get it done. And that reliability builds the trust around you that's super, super important. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you.